South Sulawesi is a province in the southern peninsula of Sulawesi. The Selayar Islands archipelago to the south of Sulawesi is also part of the province. The capital is Makassar. The province is bordered by Central Sulawesi and West Sulawesi to the north, the Gulf of Bone and Southeast Sulawesi to the east, Makassar Strait to the west, and Flores Sea to the south. The 2010 census estimated the population as 8,032,551, which makes South Sulawesi the most populous province on the island, and the sixth most populous province in Indonesia. By mid-2019 this was estimated to have risen to 8,851,200. The main ethnic groups in South Sulawesi are the Buganese, Makassaris, Toraja, and Manda. The economy of the province is based on agriculture, fishing, and mining of gold, magnesium, iron and other metals. The Pinisi, a traditional Indonesian two-masted sailing ship, is still used widely by the Buganese and Makassaris, mostly for inter-insular transportation, cargo, and fishing purposes within the Indonesian archipelago. During the golden era of the spice trade, from the 15th to 19th centuries, South Sulawesi served as the gateway to the Maluku Islands. There were a number of small kingdoms, including two prominent ones, the Kingdom of Goa near Makassar and the Bugas Kingdom located in Bone. The Dutch East India Company began operating in the region in the 17th century. VOC later allied with the Bugas prince, Arung Palaka, and they defeated the Kingdom of Goa. The King of Goa, Sultan Hasanuddin, was forced to sign a treaty which greatly reduced the power of Bangaya Goa. Sulawesi was first inhabited by humans about 30,000 years ago. The archaeological remains of the earliest inhabitants were discovered in caves near limestone hills around Maros, about 30 kilometers northeast of Makassar, the capital of the South Sulawesi province. Pebble and flake stone tools have been collected from the river terraces in the valley of Walane, among Sopeng and Sengkang, including the bones from giant pig and elephant species that are now extinct. Handprint paintings, estimated to be around 35,000 to 40,000 years old, have been found in the Petakere cave, located 12 kilometers from the town of Maros and 30 kilometers from Makassar. Increase in commerce due to the rise of external demand for South Sulawesi rice encouraged major agricultural expansion and political centralization in the early 14th century. Swidden agriculture was increasingly replaced with intensive wet rice cultivation, leading to a rise in population density. New settlements were founded in the interior part of the peninsula as pristine forests were cleared. These changes accompanied the rise of new interior agricultural polities, such as the Bugas chiefdoms of Bone and Wajok, as well as the Makassar polity of Goa. By the early 16th century, Bone had assumed a paramount position in the eastern part of the peninsula, while Makassar twin kingdoms of Goa and Taluk started to expand their influence throughout the western part. Their competition for hegemony over South Sulawesi made Goa Taluk and Bone clashed against each other in the 1560s. In 1582, three Bugas polities, Bone, Sopeng, and Wajok, signed a mutual defense pact known as the Treaty of Te Mourong. The alliance, also referred to as the Telemporko, sought to stop Goa's expansionism and to reclaim the autonomy of the Bugas polities under Goa's vassalage. Goa's campaigns against the alliance in 1582, 1585, and 1588 were all successfully repulsed, with another one in 1590 abandoned following the death of Goa's ruler. By the early 17th century, however, Goa and Taluk had become the most dominant powers in South Sulawesi as they supported international commerce and embracing the new faith of Islam. Goa waged successful campaigns against Bugas kingdoms, defeating Sopeng in 1609, Wajok in 1610, and Bone in 1611. Dutch East India Company began operating in the region in the 17th century and saw the Kingdom of Goa as an obstacle to its desire for control of the spice trade in this area. VOC later allied with the Bugas prince, Arung Palaka, who was living in exile after the fall of the Bugas. After a year-long battle, they defeated the Kingdom of Goa and the King of Goa, Sultan Hassanuddin was forced to sign a treaty which greatly reduced the power of Bangayagova. Furthermore, Palaka became ruler in South Sulawesi. A Bugis queen later emerged to lead the resistance against the Dutch, who were busy dealing with the Napoleonic Wars in Europe. Yet once past the Napoleonic Wars, the Dutch returned to South Sulawesi and eradicated the Queen's rebellion. But resistance of the Bugis people against colonial rule continued until 1905. In 1905, the Dutch also managed to conquer Tanah Toraja. Before the proclamation of the Republic of Indonesia, South Sulawesi consisted of a number of independent kingdoms territory and was inhabited by 4 ethnic groups, namely the Bugis, Makassar, Manda, and Toraja. South Sulo